Active and playful, Raeleigh Goodwin of Williamston is full of life. But for a while last summer, her parents were worried they'd lose her.
She just kept going down, kept getting worse.
This was her last August in the ICU with a feeding tube. Her mom, Jennifer, says she knew something was wrong when Raeleigh started acting tired while she was at her grandma's.
She called me up and said she's not eating and she's not swimming in the pool, and she says she's not, her head's hurting real bad. And I said that is very unusual for her because she eats a lot.
They rushed her to the emergency room at ECU Health in Greenville. Just when they thought she was starting to improve, she took a turn for the worse.
She got to the point where she was completely refusing to drink or eat with any. I could put the straw in her mouth and she wasn't drinking. Then she started with like convulsions while she was in the emergency department. They weren't sure what was going on, so they moved her to ICU. She stayed in the ICU for 11 days.
2 MRIs and 1 EKG later, they found out she had encephalitis from COVID, meaning swelling on the brain. It was causing her body to overreact to everything.
They finally gave her a feeding tube after being there for about 5 days.
Jennifer and her husband, Eric, thought they might have to start making some tough decisions.
Seeing her like she was at the time, you're thinking about the worst, but you're hoping for the best. I mean, we actually sat down in the ICU room one day and started talking about what happens if this happens, or what are we going to do if this takes place.
But Jennifer says it was faith and the help of doctors and nurses at James and Connie Maynard Children's Hospital that helped them persevere.
It was nice to have someone else there to help when times did get rough, and we could just stand by the bed and make sure she wasn't hurting herself. That was a big fear, that she was going to hurt herself or pull that feeding tube out. I just tried to stay calm, and because I knew things were going to get better. I trusted that God was going to heal her, and He was putting all the doctors and nurses in place to do that, to heal her.
It took time, but she started to get better.
The whole time she was in there, she wasn't speaking either. She never said anything for the longest time. She was in the hospital and then went to rehab for she was there for 37 days. When she got to rehab one day, she woke up and she was smiling at me and she said, "Mama," and that was the best thing in the world.
As for her thoughts on getting to come home, Raeleigh has one word to describe how she felt.
Happy.
And she has big plans now that she's back.
The first thing she said when she got in the car, she said, "I want to go to Tweetsie Railroad in Dollywood."
She loves Tweetsie Railroad and Dollywood.
And Busch Gardens.
And Busch Gardens. She loves places like that where she can ride roller coasters and the dancing and the music. She loves all of those things.